as the day, the sun stays away. Wake up in a new tomorrow. Live my love between next to a brighter day. Never need worry, think one love sets you free. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, struggle to stay alive. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, struggle to stay alive. Somebody tell me, oh, why the fight is? What love can set us free? We just let it be. Take up in a brand new day. Good love is always not to wait. Never need worry if we just let it be. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, struggle to stay alive. One love, keep us together. Living in a world, struggle to stay alive. Never need love, let one love set you free.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, family members. Good evening, Dorcas. Good evening, Abraham. Good evening, Gowen. Gowen is tagging. That is fine. Good evening, Rithi. Good evening, Sinabola. Good evening. Good evening, Oluwaseufumi. Good evening, Joyce Kunde. Good evening, Oluwa. Good evening. Good evening, Gift, long time no see. And good evening, everyone. I want to say tonight, we are joining the rest of the world. IOM family is joining the rest of the world as they marked Zero Discrimination Day. Zero Discrimination Day. Yes. Zero Discrimination Day is a day set aside to say no to discrimination. And we have with us tonight, we have your IOM one and only Madam Hope in the house. Madam Hope in the house. Madam Hope, do you want to unmute and say good evening to family members? Madam Hope. I think Madam Hope is having network issue. And also on the stage is our one and only IOM barrister. Yes, barrister, Godfrey, do you want to greet family members?
Hello, everybody. Good evening and welcome to today's
Your voice is quite low. Is it from me?
I guess so.
Okay, yes.
It's loud enough.
Yes, it's from me.
Say good evening, family members, and welcome to today's show. I guess it will be a more interesting one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We are still awaiting Madam Marjorie to join us. But before she comes in, I want to ask you, family members, can you see me? Fams, can you see me? Doctor or Barrister Godfrey, can you see me? Or
I see you and hear you loud and clear.
okay, now I want to do my intro. I will ask again, can you see me? Or do you see my tribe? When you look at me, do you rather see my tribe? Or do you rather see my gender? Or do you rather see my religious belief, my disability, my scars, before you see me as a person? You see, every day in Nigeria, we face discrimination in our own homes, schools, offices, and even on the streets. Yes, it is discrimination that decides who gets a job. Yes, it is discrimination that decides who gets a voice, who gets a chance. For example, a woman works twice as hard as a man, but she is told leadership is not for you. A child with autism or Down syndrome is hidden or locked away, as if shame could erase their existence. A Christian in the north fears for their safety. A Muslim in the south is treated as a terrorist. An albino child is seen as a cursed child. What about a disabled adult is forced to crawl because Nigerian government refuses to build for them? A rape survivor is blamed for her assault. Yes. Does her pain not matter to us? Why do we look away when we see people suffer? Yet, we are expected to stand up and sing the national anthem. Arise, O compatriots. How can we rise, O compatriots? How can we rise when the weight of discrimination holds us down? How can we stand when every day in Nigeria reminds us that we don't belong if you are not in the circle? A widow is stripped of her home. A poor sick man is left to die alone. A young girl is told that her education ends in the kitchen. But the good news is that today, on Zero Discrimination Day, which was yesterday, we ask you, what if you saw me as a human being first, before my tribe? What if you saw me as a human being first, before my gender? What if you saw me as a human being first, before my religion? What if you saw me first as a human being, before my disability, my scars, and my label? What if our differences are not just a reason to discriminate? What if our differences, sorry, what if our, oh my God, sorry about this. A lot is happening behind the stage. Apologies, guys. Apologies. I don't know who called video call. What if our differences is the reason we need to unite? United, we can stand together to promote a just cause. So once again, I want to say apologies, family members. Apologies for the up and down. Our speakers, we are trying to join the backstage. Yes, thank you. Yeah, we are still waiting for Madam Hope. Good evening once again. We have Madam Majorie on the stage. Madam Majorie on the phone. Do you want to greet the family members? Madam Majorie.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, family members. Welcome to the month of March. It's such a pleasure to be with you guys once again. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I had to run from the local area so that we can get network to be with you once more, because in my mind, it's always in our mind, because our destiny is in our hands.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Majorie. Yes. So tonight, as we said, is Zero Tolerance Day. Madam Majorie, I know you are an advocate, a human rights activist, and you are a frontline worker against discrimination of all forms. Madam Majorie, do you want to speak to the family members and tell us what discrimination you see in the everyday Nigerian street?
Thank you, Nurse Angel. And the members of the admin and everyone who has taken this time to join this conversation once again. Wow. It's difficult to not say that we see discrimination everywhere we go or everywhere we look in Nigeria. It just struck me that the only place I haven't seen any form of discrimination is actually on this platform. On this platform, everyone is equal. It's the only place I haven't seen any form or noticed discrimination, because I just react to it. Now, on the daily, we see discriminatory acts perpetuated not just by citizens. We see discrimination encouraged by the government. We see it in school, we see it in public spaces, we see it at the workplace. There is one I'm sure we can all identify with. On the Nigerian street, when you want to board a bus or a cab, or you're traveling and you're female, you arrive first and you take the seat on the aisle. You take the aisle seat, or you sit outside, maybe by the door, close to the exit. You will see the drivers who are often male, and the other male commuters come and say, no. They will oppose the woman sitting at that place. They put all manner of excuse and say they are protecting the woman. And oftentimes, even where female are co-travelers on such a conveyance, they wouldn't say anything. This is quite commonplace. It happens almost every day. You see. But I'm glad that I see young girls, young ladies resist this form of discrimination.
Yes.
There is one form of discrimination that we noticed a lot. There is a colleague of ours who's a person living with HIV. By the way, the theme for yesterday's celebration, the day is every 1st of March is Zero Tolerance for Discrimination Day. The theme is we stand together. We stand together. And we can only stand together if we're equals, if we're one, if we're united, if we're a good supportive network or system. Because we as individuals experience discriminatory acts differently, totally different. There is a discrimination that happens with a person living with disability or a person living with HIV. We have a sister and a colleague who is a person living with HIV, and she has overcome her inhibitions and trauma, and she goes on air to speak about this. And I was shocked to find that some persons in the space where we work, some colleagues, found it very belittling and somehow gross for her to talk about it, for her to lead conversations on International AIDS Day, for her to identify as a survivor. So I was quite taken aback because I pride our circle of colleagues and friends as persons who are knowledgeable and exposed. Yes. So in that kind of situation, you see that she suffers discrimination. There is a discrimination that is prevalent because of gender. Discrimination even happens in homes. When a girl says she wants to be a football star, when she says she wants to be a medical doctor, the family says, no, you cannot go to those careers, you cannot play football.
You a girl.
Yes. So that is discriminatory. So we must understand that even parents and siblings can be the perpetrators of discrimination to a family member, their biological siblings and children. Now, in schools, I've seen a form of discrimination play out in schools. When you have, especially with the advent of private schools, no, even when we're in primary school, if your classmates are children of some of our teachers, they are giving some very preferential treatment. Now, if in the private school system, what happens is if you're a parent that is always buying gifts for the teacher or keeping present and appreciating the money, they pass your children above those who really merit it, simply because their parents don't believe in giving them those kind gifts or they can't afford to. So the child might be brilliant, might do very well academically, but will not get that position or that official recognition as the senior prefect. You know, it's a position we reserve for very brilliant students or pupils. Now it's not so. They get them to pay to make gifts, and if the most brilliant student or pupil cannot provide match the monetary power or financial power of the other opponent, he or she automatically loses. That's discrimination. There is a preponderance of tribalistic sentiments in Nigeria. A criminal is assessed by tribe in Nigeria, not by the laws. It's a discriminatory act. When it's Igbo people might not come out strongly to condemn a person's criminal actions. Instead of talking about the crime that have been perpetuated, the infraction of a law, people are discussing the tribe of the person and trying to vote which crime, which tribe is more criminal than the other, making endless comparative analysis. There are discriminations by tribe. And some of these discriminations are perpetrated even by our own governments. Some governments are having exclusive schools for persons living with disability. I was in Delta State where we had a conversation on a law that is proposing separate schools for children or persons living with disability. That is discriminatory. And we told them no. Did you ask persons living with disability that are probably lawyers about how they feel about this? They ran and called them from the Ministry of Justice and they said they don't want that. It is discriminatory. It is exclusive and it's not inclusive. That's not the aim of an educational institution. That it makes a disabled person more aware of their situation and take them self-conscious and not able to deal with it and come out of it and become survivors. So these are some of the ways. This is a government. Then for persons living with disability, we see that our public spaces are not built with them in mind at all.
Fantastic.
There are no ramps for them to navigate public spaces. We have been talking about that. There are no strategic intentional housing scheme to incorporate their needs. Our public toilets are not structured for persons with visual impairment and mobility challenge. These are some of the ways we observe discrimination in discharge of our work. And yes, there is political discrimination in Nigeria by the Nigerian states. As a rights activist, when we look at programs of government and you say this is not good, this is not what it should be, and you come out with a position, the first reaction you get is that he or she, you've been sponsored by the opposition. They politicize government and government issues. So these are strong concerns because government sets the pace, should set the pace, and the citizens should follow. So when they do that, if you're not of this party, you may not be able to access certain employment opportunities. You may not be able to get certain scheme or loan schemes of government or grants. And it goes on and on. That shouldn't be the consideration, and that is terribly discriminatory. And yes, there is a strong discrimination by sex, by gender. It's perpetrated always. We know in our market systems that women are the majority stakeholders in our markets. But when decisions are made about markets, their structures, their building, their location, and the facilities, women are never in the room where it's discussed. Neither are they given opportunity to be the contractors.
Yeah, Madam Majori, before you continue, I sent you a text message. Quickly look at it, then continue. Continue if you look at it. I sent you a WhatsApp message. Yeah. Apologies for the obstruction because she's saying a whole lot of very vital points. Yeah, continue, Madam Majori. You're muted now. You're muted. I see.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I take the correction. I am kind of famished. So those are kind of daily, on a scale, we see discrimination being perpetuated. And oftentimes, I am shocked that the persons who these acts or actions are directed at do not understand that it's a crime to allow it to happen to you. Okay? In the national space, we saw the outburst of a senator who's been probably discriminated against.
I will stop you there because that is one thing I want us to discuss tonight. But before you go on, I want to say thank you for all the points you laid out. We have again on our stage Barrister Godfrey. However, Barrister Godfrey, sorry for keeping you waiting for a long time. We also have on the phone, another phone, we have IOM family members. As you all are aware, a member of IOM is crippled, and he is on the stage to share a real life experience, first-hand experience. And Madam Majori has shared a lot of points based on a number of discrimination you see every day in buses because of your gender, your disability, and whatnot. So, Senabola, do you want to say and greet family members and also please share with us a first-hand information you shared with our admin about the disability. You say you faced a lot of discrimination, but share one quickly if you can cut it short as well, so we can all hear a first-hand account. Sinabola. Sinabola, you are muted. Can you hear me, Sinabola? Sinabola, if you can hear me, you're muted. Otherwise, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good evening, Nosinje. Good evening, family member. My name is Siambola Adenka. I am family member. I'm a disability, I'm crippled. So I want to share my experience about the discrimination. You know, when I was born, they don't born me like this, but it was a coincidence. So when I grow up, people are looking at me as someone that cannot make it in life or cannot do anything in life. So sometimes when I grow up, when I'm playing with friends around, they will be looking at me and say some things, insult me here and there. So, but my father then used to encourage me, and I saw me that I shouldn't care, and I shouldn't look at the side, that everything I want in life to make it, will do it for me. So I was just focused on my father and everything he used to say to me to encourage me. So I started my life from there. And when I become adults. I can say that when some people say that I'm a person that have some quality in myself, so people just too close to me, they close to me, they come to play with me. Some of them they will talk to me because I was I was kind of kind. I kind to people. I used to, if you embarrass me, I won't care. I'll still go to you. I'll still try to play with you. So since then, and when I grew up, I used to go out. So when I want to take a car, people they will try to run for me, and I would say, why you run for me? What is happening? Is it because of who I am, or you see something else in me? So they will just be looking at me and they're wrong. For me, they will not want to close to me. Even if I'm in the cab, they will shift for me. They will be far to me, all those things. So, and when I was into a big challenge, experience, when my father died, he died in 2013, the motor accident. So that's where everything it just started. Everybody they abandoned me, including my relative. So it's only my mother and my siblings I see around me. Some people, even when my father died, they promised that I should not worry, they will take care of me, they will do everything. So I was trying my best just to make them have that that passion that they wanted to help me. I was trying and trying. So I was fortunate to be educated. So I struggled by myself. I get admission. I talk to them. They said I should not worry. So when I'm in school, I was about to pay my tuition fees. So, and I talked to them, my relative, those that I promised. So they started give me excuses. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sinabola, just to wrap it up, you've said a lot of things you said. We've had a lot of discrimination in between. Honestly, we've heard how people shift off from you. That's a huge discrimination and it's appalling. So, do you want to round up quickly so we can talk about what you just said now?
Yes. What I want to say is that the people with disabilities and less privilege, they have faced a lot of discrimination, especially in this country, because people are see them as someone that has nothing, that cannot become anything in life. So they don't come close to them. They don't want to talk to them. They don't want to have any conversation with them.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to let the people know that nobody knows tomorrow. Whatever position you may be, one day you will leave that position. And whatever you do on that position, it will follow you wherever you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's very pathetic. Sorry about that. I will come to you, Barrister. Barrister, we've had a lot. Madam Majori shared a lot, even in the buses. You can mute Sinabola, thank you. Sinabola also shared his story, how he's been discriminated against. Some of it is people a kind of treating him as if he's trash. I know that all laws, all countries all over the world make laws to protect the citizens of the country so that they will not face such discrimination. We also have Aisha Bala. Maybe before I come to you, Barrister, give me one more minute. Let's hear another case so we can wrap them all up together, if you don't mind. Aisha Bala, I wanted to ask Barrister, but I said, let's hear your own story and see if we can jumble them up together and see what to talk about it. So Aisha Bala, thank you for joining us at the back on the phone. Do you want to unmute and share any story you have regarding discrimination of any form?
My family. I want to share my knowledge concerning discrimination, mostly against the female gender, Islamically. Islamically, the woman is inferior to the man. In that case, some opportunities are being denied to the women. For instance, in terms of knowledge, it said that the woman should not have more knowledge than a man. Yes, and like a married woman, she can't go to school to acquire knowledge. That is the stated rules. She can't go to school to acquire knowledge, but her husband can teach her at home, or he can hire someone to teach her at home. While the man himself can go and acquire knowledge in a public institution, but the woman is prohibited. She's forbidden from doing that. I have a neighbor of mine. A neighbor, she has 4 kids. 3 are female, 1 is a male. The male child is attending a private school while the female children are attending a public school. Not because of anything, just because of that discrimination. He's a boy, he needs the knowledge more than them. And apart from the Western education side, they also enroll the boy in another higher Islamic school. The boy is younger, is the youngest among them. So they took him to that school, and the girls were not going to that school. They are going to the normal Islamic school. The day I talked to the mother about that, she said that is how it's supposed to be. And I told her, no, it's wrong. It is wrong. They have equal right to acquire that knowledge, both Western knowledge and religious knowledge. They have equal right to do that, except if you can't afford to pay for them. Now, another aspect of discrimination is concerning social association. The women Islamically are not allowed to mingle with the men freely. They are not allowed to do that religiously. Islamically, they are not allowed to do that. In fact, working in an office or in any organization is not allowed Islamically. They say that if a woman is working, she will be mingling with other men who are not her husband, and it is against Islamic religion. But the men can go to the market, go to offices, feel free, mingle with other genders. Now, the woman is not even allowed to work in the office Islamically. That she'll be rubbing shoulder with her husband, and that she won't be submissive to her husband. So we have a lot of educated, let me use this particular tribe. That is where I am now. There are many educated ladies from the Hausa communities that ended up their education in the kitchen. Not because of anything, but because of the discrimination religion made against them. They have the knowledge, but they cannot go to office and use it to work. Their parents are the ones that stop them from going to do the work, and in some cases, it's the husband that stopped that. So it used to happen everywhere, but I just decided to pick the religious aspect of it, that is the Islamic religious aspect of it. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, thank you. You can mute. I'm short of words. And thanks for sharing. So, back to you, Barrister. Barrister, most countries all over the world have laws that outlaw discrimination. Yes, yet it persists. Yet it persists. It persists. It persists. It persists. Laws against discrimination everywhere. Yet, it's happening in our own homes, inside our houses. You have two children, you separate them, inferior, superior. You go outside, you want to sit in the bus. No, move. You go to, you because of disability, religion, age, and whatnot. And there are laws. There are laws that are seen to the fact that this should not happen. Barrister, I know you will tell me there are laws, but why does it continue to exist irrespective of the laws? You can unmute and talk. You are muted.
Thank you very much. Actually, there are laws against discrimination, several laws in Nigeria. I'm only speaking with particular reference to Nigeria. There are laws that were enacted to combat discrimination. But the problem we have is enforcement. How do we enforce those laws? There are several militating factors against the enforcement of such laws. For example, the person that suffered the discrimination doesn't even know that he has a remedy. He doesn't know that there are laws that protect him. That's one. The next thing is sometimes the courts can frustrate you. The courts can frustrate you. And how do they do that? Most of these people that suffer the discrimination are not that financially endowed to pursue their rights. And there are no measures to assist them as such. And when eventually they manage to scratch out the means to pursue their rights, with the several adjournments in the courts, so many motions upon motions, at a point, they may not even have the resources to retain a qualified barrister to handle them, the matters for them. This is another meditating factor. Another thing is religion. Religion, particularly the Islamic religion, makes it almost impossible. I don't want to say totally impossible because I'm not a Muslim, but I've seen where such things happen. A Muslim does not even know that there is a right available to him because of discrimination. Then most people, when you tell them you can fight for your right to overcome these things, particularly among the Christians, they will tell you, I've left it in God's hands. Let God decide. And the evil being perpetrated persists. So how do we go about it? There are avenues. One is opening up. You open up and speak out. Look at what I just experienced at so person's hands or in so establishment. Open up. The person you opened up to can even advise you, go to this organization. Particularly, like I'm saying now, all the human rights organizations are properly equipped to handle such issues. Even if you don't have 1 naira to pursue your case, if you go to them, most of them usually get grants from external bodies. The grants are in the form of cash resources to handle certain issues for which they were set up. They can pursue your matter to its logical conclusion. Even if there are so many adjournments in court, they have the financial muscle to follow it up. So speak up. Tell someone, look at what happened to me because I went for a job here, or because I'm a woman, or because I'm somebody with a disability. Speak up, and you will get remedy. Another aspect is, I don't know, but it sounds somehow like what Aisha Bala was saying. In Enugu State, if you are not from Enugu State, you suffer serious discrimination. Enugu State, Imo State, Anambra State, Ebonyi, all of them are Igbo-speaking states. In Enugu State, they discriminate against so-called non-indigenous of Enugu State. Is this supposed to be so? That is so appalling. I once had a person that was working for me at the Ministry of Lands in Enugu. That's when I have any land matter in Enugu State, I usually call the person. I will not mention the name for fear of exposing her to victimization. She is from Enugu State. The last time I saw her, I noticed a change in the name. I asked her, she said that she's married. I said, why don't you change to your husband's surname? She told me that if she does that, she will be sacked.
Oh, Jesus.
This is a life experience. I'm not trying to cook up a story. I asked her why. She said that she's from Enugu State, yes. But that the moment it is found out that she's married to a non-Enugu State person, that she'll be dismissed from office. What kind of discrimination is that? This is outright wickedness. In Igbo land, you say we are Igbos, we are for one another. We are not. No, I'm telling you the truth. We are not. Why would a person from Enugu State discriminate against somebody that is not from Enugu State when two of you are speaking the same language? I'm not talking about Hausa Igbo this time or Yoruba Igbo. I'm talking about Igbo and Igbo. If such discrimination continues, we'll be in serious trouble.
Thank you.
I have friends, 90% of my friends are from Enugu State. They don't see me as one of their own. If you are, anyway, let me not condemn Enugu State totally. But what I have to say is people need a reorientation. Seminars are needed where public speakers will come and enlighten everybody on the evils of discrimination and how to get out of them. A reorientation is needed before these things can happen. In the churches, the pastors and reverend fathers should be encouraged to speak out on this. Let people, all those hardliners, let them know that these things don't go well for anybody. They are even exposed to so many negative things. Well, the laws are here, but the factors militating against them, I've mentioned some of them. Well, I hope that a time will come when people will say enough is enough and take the bull by the horns. It's quite discouraging. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Barrister. Thank you for sharing such an in-depth experience, ways to combat it. And in ending, you also said that before I say that, Farms, I want you all to please use the hashtag IOM0discrimination. Let it trend. Family members, I have pinned Khadija Mohammed's hashtag IOM0discrimination. Please let it start trending everywhere you are. Hashtag IOM0discrimination. Let's show them that IOM family, we stand together to promote the rights of everyone to live a full and productive life with dignity, free of discrimination. Zero Discrimination Day is powerful. It's a powerful reminder of how we can get informed and promote inclusion, compassion, and peace. So please, whatever you're doing, take 1 minute, hashtag fantastic. Fantastic. Queen, thank you very much. Queen, thank you. Aisha Bala, put them together. Hashtag IOM0discrimination. Chin Talk, thank you very much. IOM0discrimination. Faith, thank you very much. Patience, thank you very much. Favor, thank you very much. JJ, well done. Thank you. Put them together so it will be an hashtag. Hashtag IOM0discrimination. Thank you very much, Abraham. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Modupe Comfort. Thank you. We want it to trend. Best, thank you very much. Adenike, thank you. So I'll quickly ask you to continue to use the hashtag, write it as one word, IOM0discrimination. Solex, well done. So Barrister Godfrey said that churches should encourage, because that is what churches are supposed to do, to use their pulpits to speak up to the congregation that come in hundreds of thousands. However, a member of the family, I'm coming to Marjorie soon, a member of the family, Adenike Oni, said, discrimination is everywhere, even in the churches. It happens. And another member of the family, Emmanuel Akpan, said, discrimination is even in the church, where a committed member is always in all the activities. Listen, Emmanuel is saying that a member that is so committed to the church go in and do activities in all the activities the church is running. And when once they want to have good offices in the same church, they go to those that are on money. This is irrespective of whether they are frequent in the service or not. So we also have seen in churches where special seats are reserved for those that have social status, that are so buoyant and rich, why the members that work tooth and nail always ensure they serve, they sweep the churches, you need to be at the back seat. Madam Marjorie, on that note, I want to ask you, Barrister said that the government, there is laws. However, even the law enforcers and the keepers of laws, which is the police and the judiciary, they will frustrate you. They will intimidate you, and they will make sure that you tire out. In a bid, they start adjourning cases, adjourn until you give up. Madam Marjorie, in his speech, he said that NGOs like yourself can ensure that people that are discriminated, that the government or the laws, the law enforcers want to frustrate out, have people like yourselves. Can I ask you, what have you, in terms of the activists, what are you doing to see how we can put a final full stop to such discrimination that is perpetuated even in the family, not to talk of outside the household? Madam Marjorie. 1 minute. 1 minute. I think you're muted. Okay. Continue, Madam Majori.
Thank you once again. And I want to tell everybody that I've listened and I'm hearing them. Their voice is quite valid, and it's quite terrible to behold the magnitude of this discriminatory act. So having said that, I like that barrister talked about the role that civil rights activists organizations play. I also like that you mentioned how tedious and long drawn the judicial system circle in Nigeria can be, for instance, and how that could tire out the victims, and they would rather prefer to live with the discriminatory act than seek justice. But having said that, right now, we take out fundamental rights action, which discrimination comes under against such perpetrators. We also use the VAT law to try to bring some of these persons to justice. An example, it's a woman who's in an abusive marriage, and the husband was bringing scores of women to the home and expects her to leave the bedroom when he brings other females. They have 2 young children together, and after a while he took their children and threw her away. And when the family came to his family to inquire, his family said that their son, this man is a lecturer in Abia State University, Umudike. Then their son said he's no longer interested in the marriage because she's an outcast.
Oh.
And they were like, what? The girl did not hide her status. She said traditionally or culturally that she is gay. And he said he doesn't mind. And he went into the relationship. And after 2 children, he pushes her out, takes the children from her.
Oh.
And because of societal institution and enablement of this abuse, this discriminatory act, she couldn't speak out.
Oh.
She couldn't speak out for all of 4 years. She was not allowed to see her children. She would go around their schools, she would bribe his sisters, she was doing everything to just catch a glimpse of her children. She will now be frustrated, she will go to the house, they will beat her and throw her out. The day the matter was brought to our purview by one of my activist colleagues who is in the US, and then she sent the young lady to us. In fact, when we asked what is your name, she burst like a dam. She kept talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. Before then, I've spoken to her and said she should tell her story and give us a report. She wrote such a long tale that my colleagues were like, this one is too much. And I said, this victim has never shared her story before. This is the first opportunity she has had to tell her tale. And nobody said anything. But when we saw her in person and she started talking and talking, when she quieted down, she'll be crying, all the emotions tumbling everywhere. And I asked her, I said, Nze, great. Have you told your story anywhere else? She said, no, she broke down. This is the first time I'm having the opportunity. Even my father and my mother don't know the extent of abuse I suffered. He calls me less human being. He says I'm an Osu, I'm this. So we knew we need to go to the courts. We need to file an action against this man. And immediately he was served. He started begging us that he doesn't want to go to court. We should please come, let him settle. We said no, that the court will, you have your day in court. That the court, so he is in court. In fact, we have 2 actions against him. One is at the family magistrates court, where we're talking about the custody and welfare of the children, and the fundamental right action against him labeling somebody an outcast is at the High Court. But having said this, there are court procedures and processes which are not cast in stone. What do I mean? You're given an adjourned date for a court hearing or sitting, and then you get to court and you see that the court did not sit. The court is not going to sit, and nobody pre-informed you, and people are expected a lot of resources to get there. Even within the judiciary circle, there is discriminatory dispensation of the justice, Papa. What am I saying? They dispense courts, they give plum cases to certain juries they favor, jurors. They do all sorts of things. Now you will see even clerks taking upon themselves roles and responsibilities that are not theirs, even that of the court registrar. Because the whole place is terrible abuses are perpetrated on a daily basis. People don't even know when they are doing what is wrong. Now, when the processes are wrong, there are no clear communication of court dates and time and all that. And you come to court and they say, they are going to they have a court session, a judge died, or a lawyer died, and they can't hold today. Those things are so bad. Now, somebody is living in Lagos and working in Lagos, and the case, the incident, jurisdiction is in Owerri or
It is sad. It's honestly sad.
The person is poor. The person does not have money. The person is being helped. We're crowdfunding. Getting grants is not an easy thing. And the NGOs and human rights organizations in the Southeast have had the bad end of the stick. All the grants have been, that discrimination on another scale, have been focused on the Northeast, on the Northwest, even on the northern part of the country. And then the West, they've had a head start on this and they know how to do their thing. But the East, even with our challenges of insecurity, rather than get grants, I tell you, we are ripping off. We will pitch, do beautiful. They will tell us, oh, your pitch is good, is the best. But that project will end up going to another place. We won't see it here. So whatever successes, whatever justice, whatever engagement and interaction we have so far had in the last 3 or so years with the justice system to get justice for victims of discriminatory acts, we have done that by ourselves. We've done that across the Southeast on the platform of Honorable. In fact, Madam Hope was here. She would tell you how we resisted the discriminatory action perpetrated on a widow who from Imo, who was abducted and taken to Anambra to be tried in the courts. So these are some of the things we do. We come together. Remember what the theme is. The international theme for zero tolerance of discrimination says we stand together. I tell people that to prevent any form of abuse, you must first get something, and that something is a support system. Get a support network. Join one. Become a member of a strong support system. It could be your old school alumnus. Become a member. It could be your secondary school group. It could be your work group. It could be a gender group. It could be anything. But please, or even in your family, have women. You have aunties. You have relatives, extended family members who have had certain experiences. Lean on their experiences. Have a support system that works, because a support system that works will prevent you from being discriminated upon, will support you. Let me say, for it, we support the community of persons living with disability. There was a time government tried to pull them out. Yes, they told them, they gave them eviction notice that they should leave the housing. Persons living with various forms of disability. When they reached out to us, we quickly mobilized, wrote to the governor, we found out that these three ministries were trying to pull them out of there. For what? Government was not taking over the property. They wanted to rent them, to commercialize them, and they didn't care that they were going to take persons living with various forms of disability and make them homeless in the street. But we came together quickly. We had less than 12 hours notice. But we came together, we stood up for them, we had media engagement, we called up contact, we did letters, but I didn't sleep for like 2 nights, and we were everywhere. And on that day, they said, when it was morning, we told ourselves, even though we had other engagement, we told ourselves, please, wear this color. We're marching with these people, we're going to stay there. We came there, we drew all the media attention, we called channels, we called Arise, we pulled them there. And I must say, one of our media partners who's late now, there was nothing Trust Media he didn't do. He moved around, he was calling, and we were able to resist that movement to pull them out. So it's a whole lot. We do not have the government support, the system and the structure to be able to really fight discriminatory act. It shouldn't be something you go to court and you stay 3 years, 4 years. You tire out. It should be fair justice, not delayed justice. It should be something that they should have accelerated hearing as contained in the VAP law for this kind of cases, or what they call a mobile court. Because it's simple, and that makes it better for people to approach the judiciary or the justice delivery system. My dear, what we have now, it's sad. I had some cases where we've been in court for gunting on 6 years. We went to field today to do a matter. A widow that was discriminated upon terribly, harmful widowhood practices, and she was sent out. On the 11th of this month, she suddenly told us it will be the 25th year of her widowhood. Her husband passed. The court, it's a traditional question, and Ishiobi is given to her first son. It is not transferable and all of that. But courts were giving judgment to share it and all of that. What kind of perpetual trouble do you want to instill and cause in that family? And you see the work for us here, it's so enormous. Because we need to write to the judicial regulatory body and ask some questions. Call up those judges or magistrates who gave this ruling from the lower courts, and now this widow has had to appeal a judgment. That is quite clear. The arbitratory panel gave her justice, but the courts did not look at the reports. The customary courts gave her some form of win, but it was not holistic and total. It was a simple matter. It's a very simple matter, but the court complicated it. Now we are forced to approach that same court, but now to use the regulatory bodies to begin to insist that this widow be given justice, because the man who has been perpetuating this discriminatory action against her has died, and his children want to bury him there and sell off the whole place where her husband has been buried and his father before him. So these are issues, and they are enormous. When we say the laws are there, are the laws implementable? Are they holistic? Are they totally implementable? What is the speed of justice delivery and the processes? These are the questions we need to answer and be honest about. Thank you.
She said it all. I would say Aisha Bala and Sinabola, unless you have something else to say, you can go back to the stage, to the page. Any of you, I'll give a minute because it's past 9. We want to close. Do any of you have one thing to say quickly? Sinabola, do you have anything to say?
No, ma.
Thank you. You can
say in my mind. It's always in my mind, and my destiny is definitely.
Thank you. You can go back to the page. Aisha Bala, do you have anything you want to say? Aisha Bala.
No. Good night, everyone.
Thank you very much. Just go back to the page so we can wrap up quickly. She asked some challenging questions. Yes, we have the laws. You said what she's asking already. You said the laws frustrate you, the adjournment and frustration, delays, tire people off, the law enforcers, corporates. And she's saying, how speedy is it? You've said it already. It can be adjourned and adjourned. She's asking how effective it is. You said it already. People are giving up hope because there is no trust in the system. But the question back to you again is, what should be done? Not in the civil society because you threw it to her. She has thrown it back to you because she's also talked about the fact that there is no much money as well. Funding and allocation is given on everywhere but fighting for discrimination. The question to you now is, there are laws and it's not effective. Even when people try the laws, it is frustrating. You said it. Now, Barrister Godfrey, what should and could be done so that the laws that have been written, because some people are asking, she also asks, but me, I honestly don't want too many laws. I want implementation of at least the one that has been drawn. My question is, the one that is there, how can we ensure it is completely effected, tested, go to court? And are the lawyers and barristers and police officers that frustrate your effort, how can we expose them? How can we ensure that justice is not just written, but is served?
Thank you very much. Implementation is not easy, with particular reference to the Nigerian situation. Implementation is not easy, but then attempts have to be made. It is only then that we can conclusively say that such laws cannot be implemented. Right, I mentioned something like giving people a reorientation. That includes even those people at the top. And how do you reorientate those at the top? Actually, these are people that benefited from a very civil system. And they turned around now to manipulate and crush the same system they benefited from. Right? So there ought to be a reorientation. You can do that, like I said, organizing similar people speaking up, the civil society, the human rights organizations speaking up openly. Get the whole thing published in the newspapers, in the television. Look at what happened. Look at how far we have gone, but we are not seeing anything. The officers involved will not be scuttling for cover. Next time, they will not want to be disgraced. If you publish anything, the person that perpetrated that thing will definitely cover his or her face in shame. This is not something that should be swept under the carpet. Open up, shout it to the rooftops. They must hear. The person at the top will hear it, and he will want to salvage his name. And in trying to salvage his name, he will come down hard on whoever that is exposing him to such public ridicule. That's how it should be done. If we rely on merely going to court, you are jamming just a brick wall. Bricks can break, just iron wall. When it comes to like police officers, expose them.
Fantastic.
That's what we need. Expose them. Because if you go to their office and they discover that they're about to be exposed, they will try to settle you. And how would they settle you? Just take this, do this, do that. No, the thing will continue. Expose them. Flash it in the news.
Fantastic.
Like people are doing now on the social media.
Fantastic.
You see policemen trying to harass motorists, not knowing that one of the passengers or somebody somewhere has a trained on them, recording everything. And you see the results. Those officers are usually punished.
Use that scapegoats. Exactly. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. So if people can open up, if you are subjected to what is inhuman, it's something that the law is against, open up. Don't keep quiet. That's my own. You must talk. You must talk. If you talk, like in the police case, the inspector general would not want his name rubbished because of his position. He would definitely come down hard on the officer involved. And you can see many of them being summarily dismissed. So if it has to do with judiciary, you do the same thing. That's all. Reorientate the people, expose the perpetrators. That's what should be done. Otherwise, the evil persists.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yes. We have to go. We have to close. We usually say, Madam Hope is just coming, but we are rounding up right now. So I want to say thank you very much, speakers. We allow Madam Hope to say the final word. Thank you, and thank you. Thank you, family members. Thank you, Sinabola. I thank you particularly. Thank you, Aisha Bala. You are amazing. Thank you for the stories. Thank you. Family members, you see, this topic affects each and every one of us. I repeat, discrimination affects each and every one of us. Yes, to some certain extent, and yes, on certain grounds. Discrimination could be because of your tribe. I'm not talking about gender or other things. Because of your tribe. Because you're from Calabar, Igbo, Hausa, Europe, you're discriminated just because of your tribe. Some people are discriminated because of their belief, religion, tradition. Some people are discriminated because of their gender. Some people are discriminated because of their social status. Some people are discriminated because of their disability or inability. Some people are even discriminated because of their size or marital status or pregnancy. People are discriminated because of a whole lot of things. So discrimination is not about them and us. It's about each and every one of us. And I want to say this, discrimination is not just about bias. It is far from it. Yes, I repeat, it's not about bias. It is about denied opportunities. You see, family, this person, I leave them, Joe. Discrimination is not just about bias. It is about denied opportunities. It is about broken dreams. It is about shattered lives. You see, victims feel as if they are invisible. If you are being discriminated upon, honestly speaking, you feel invisible, you feel worthless, you feel hopeless. What am I trying to say? Discrimination can affect your mental health. It can cause trauma, depression, anxiety, low confidence, low self-esteem. It can significantly impact on your everyday life. It can lead you to now begin to hide yourself, social exclusion, financial hardship. You lose confidence. It can even lead to suicidal thoughts or suicide. Yes, that is why IOM tonight have decided to share and scream out. We IOM family, we've been using the hashtag zero discrimination, IOM zero discrimination. We are saying it loud and clear as our barrister is encouraging us to use our social media handle to scream out to say no to discrimination. That is why we are here, to join the movement. So let us take time, step out from our busy schedule to end discrimination. Let's continue. Don't just end here tonight. Continue. After tonight, on a daily basis, in the buses, if you see where they are discriminating against somebody because of their gender, she's a woman, you speak out. You don't wait for government laws. Time has passed when we depend on government to make laws to protect us. You see somebody in the buses trying to discriminate against somebody because of their gender, disability, or any reason. You speak out. You speak out. We must demand change. We must demand that our leaders are accountable. Demand accountability. Ask them to show what are they doing. Why is there delay? Publish it. All the social media handle. If you see evil, ensure it is not fabricated. Search and see that is authentic. Everybody start to share it. Share it. As barrister have said. You see police officers committing a crime. Expose it. You need to expose discrimination. You need to speak out. Nowadays, speaking out is our tool. Social media handle. Start publishing it. Share it. And show their faces. As long as you did not fabricate it, is authentic and genuine, share it. You are not committing any crime. You are sharing what is wrong. We need, just like Madam Marjorie has been saying tonight, we need to stand together. That is the theme of this 2025 theme is stand together. We need to stand together. We need to truly stand together to break the circle and create a Nigeria where every one of us belong. I'm looking at your hashtag. Thank you, patient. IOM zero discrimination. So, Madam Hope, thank you very much for battling to come back. We have ended as you came, but let's hear from you. What do you have, a word or a sentence you want to add to the zero discrimination that we have just discussed?
Okay. In our mind is always in my mind, and our destiny is in our hands. That's what I want to use to summarize all that we have said here today. We kept saying that we are the agents of change, and it's in our hand to determine our destiny, the environment, the future, what we want around us. That in every religion, that love is the most preached. And Christ, me coming from Christian background, Christ said, love your neighbor, love God. Summarize the whole law in these two. If we love God and love our neighbor, you find out that we cannot discriminate against them. That's why in our mind, in our IOM family, we have zero tolerance. We have zero tolerance to discrimination. That's why we are one big family, irrespective of our gender, irrespective of our ethnicity, irrespective of our cultural background, our religion, our country, whether we are disadvantaged position or whatever. No, we are one big family, and that one big family will continue to uphold anywhere, anybody we see. That is even the best way to let people know about in our mind family. When we begin to stand up, when we begin to stand up and defend and protect people who are being discriminated, about in our mind family. Love is the word. You remember the song that our Nurse Angel danced this evening. One love keep us together. So let this one love keep us together, our neighbors, in our communities, anywhere we find ourselves. Let us preach love. Let us not discriminate, but let us love one another. In our mind is always in my mind and my destiny.
Oh, her network. Thank God it waited for her to finish. Thank you very much. Thank you, Barrister. I think you need to reposition. Madam Majori, we finished. I know you have a lot to say, but I will say, hold it. Because next week, Sunday, is Women's Day. And trust me, discrimination is also found in women. So let us dance and close. Please, Barrister, I know you're in your bedroom, but that's fine. Can you move your stand so you will stand up and dance this song with me? You must dance it with me. Yes, move your stand. Please. We can't see your face. Raise up the phone. Raise up the phone. Raise up the stand so we'll see your face. We want to see how you dance. Raise the stand so we can see your face. Fantastic.
Africa is now a member. Whether we need to lose it forever. Africa is now a member. Whether we need to keep it for good. Nigeria is now a member. Whether love it or lose it forever. Nigeria is now a member. Whether love it and keep it for good. Freedom is not level. Whether we need to lose it forever. Freedom is not level. Whether we need to keep it from. Let me hear it. See how Africa is now under together, we need to lose it forever. Africa is now under together, we need to keep it from. Nigeria is now under
We need to lose it forever. So, Barrister, one last word. Let us go. We are done. You are closing the show tonight. One last word to the family.
Well, family members, truth be told, it must always be told. Don't ever be discouraged by what you see or hear. Things are taking shape gradually, but with your support, with your effort, we'll get to that point where everybody will relax and feel at home. If you see anything, if you hear anything that is contrary to the known things that make life worthwhile, please report it.
Fantastic.
You need not go to any office this time around. You have the social media to assist you. You can always publish it, WhatsApp, Facebook, let it go viral like they will say on social media. Make it to go viral. It will one day, someday, sometime yield the desired, expected result. Do not be discouraged. Go ahead. We are solidly together in this because all of us experience it at one point or the other, and we cannot allow it to continue. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, sir. Remember, in our mind is always, always in my mind, and your destiny, as we all know, is in our own hands. Break the circle. Let it go viral. Speak out. Share it. Tag your friends. Talk about it. Stop them. Thank you very much. Good night, all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.